Thanks. I'm handing over to you.
Yeah, my name is Munesu Shoko. I'm the editor of 3 magazines. One is called Modern Quarrying, which is more aligned to ASPASA. I'm also the editor of Modern Mining. I think it is also aligned to ASPASA. Then I also edit another magazine called Capital Equipment News. All of them are published by Crown Publications. It's a very well-known business-to-business publisher that has been around for more than 30 years. Personally, I come from Zimbabwe, as many might already know. I started my media career as a broadcast journalist in the country in 2005. Before I left in 2008 at the height of the political meltdown, which was actually worsened by the 2008 global economic crisis. Things were a bit tough when I arrived in South Africa. I did all sorts of jobs just to put food on the table, including construction work as a laborer, security guard, and eventually a waiter and a restaurant manager. I eventually secured my first media job in 2011 through a customer I used to serve at the restaurant. Yeah, since then I've never looked back. I got involved with business-to-business publishing since 2012, and that's when I got introduced to the quarrying industry. And you as well, Nico. I've known you for 8 years now. I've since contributed to or edited titles that deal with not only quarrying but mining, as I mentioned earlier on, energy, civil engineering, and building. I should make a special mention that I've fallen in love with the quarrying industry. It is an industry that I hold dearly to my heart, and I see myself contributing to it for many more years to come.
Thanks, that's great, and thanks for the introduction, and thanks for being such a wonderful friend, not only of myself, but of the industry and ASPASA. I'm so glad we gave you that award this year, because you're a star. You're a star, and one must always thank people when they're stars. We forget that. Now, maybe if you could just dwell on, from your perspective, from where you sit and what you see, some of the issues that are a bit problematic or challenges, not COVID. We've had enough of COVID, but maybe just broad what you see where you sit, because you sit at a different level than maybe what we do, and you see a big picture and we only see a small picture. So if you could share that with me, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, so I think from an industry perspective, one of the key issues is one that you have always mentioned, Nico. I think you have spoken about it at length. It is the issue of rampant illegal mining, which poses a considerable threat to the formal mining industry in terms of sustainability, as well as posing innumerable risks to the well-being of surrounding communities. Illegal miners have a massively unfair advantage over legal operators in the industry. They don't pay royalties, they don't pay tax or make any other statutory contributions to government or towards the sustainability of the industry at large. I'm equally disturbed by the issue of borrow pits. I think we would all agree that the quarrying industry in South Africa, led by a very capable industry association in ASPASA, is technically advanced and able to supply materials for all construction needs in the industry. However, I feel that we are risking the future of such a very important industry, well coordinated and capable, by mushrooming ill-considered borrow pits across the country, which are undercutting the prices of formal quarries and bringing men to their knees. I think that's an issue that we really need to look at. If you look at the government plans to resuscitate the economy they all dwell around infrastructure rollout. So for the infrastructure rollout to achieve its goals, it must involve all the role players. So we can't undercut the quarrying industry by allowing unnecessary borrow-fees to be mushroomed across the country. My view is that we can only allow a borrow pit where we can't cost effectively supply material from a quarry, maybe anything in excess of 70 kilometers. I think that has always been a standard. Um, I think it is even more important now that as a country looks forward to rolling out this massive infrastructure development scheme, we would all agree that infrastructure investments alleviate poverty in developing countries through the application of projects such as bridges, roads, communication, sewage, and electricity. These projects enable both public and private investors to gain on capital appreciation. But like I said, Nico, for infrastructure development to achieve the desired outcomes, it mustn't exclude other parts of the value chain. And that is the quarrying industry, which is very important in communities where these quarries are situated. I think quarries, apart from supplying quality materials, which are important to the successful execution of these projects, they are also employers in their communities. They also pay tax, they pay royalties, they are involved in a lot of community projects. So I feel like allowing unnecessary borrow pits to maximize contractors' margins is ill-advised and inconsiderate. The infrastructure value chain mustn't exclude other players to the benefit of a few. Otherwise, it won't achieve the desired outcome, which is to be a catalyst for holistic national economic development. I think that's my view.
Thanks, Munesu. And then some of the good stuff that you could see from your side, maybe positive stuff, please share with us.
Yes, I think Nico, the health and safety regime for me is always a breath of fresh air. We might have some incidents here and there, but mainly in the mainstream mining side of things. But I think at large we would all agree that um, we've got a world-class health and safety regime here in South Africa. It's world-class, especially on the quarrying side of things. I think it's a world-class safety regime that is championed by ASPASA and the buy-in from members. I think the COVID-19 situation is actually shown how the industry is well advanced in terms of its health and safety practices. Stringent safety processes are entrenched in the industry's very DNA. I think we would all agree. If a concern around safety ever arises, mines and quarries are actually geared to respond quickly, making sure that the industry is better